Okay, good. All right, so I just was playing around it because we were in a trade either Friday morning, and I went to the higher time frame 4 hour, which I love the 4 hour out of all the time frame. I like that one the best. And as price move, I like to keep my drawings current. So whenever I see certain things happening, like I looking at this area here, and I know I could put a trend line on it. On this area here, I know I could put a trend line there. I know I could put a trend line here. If I zoom out, I could probably put a trend line here. And so I just can actually go and draw them out so you guys can see. But I thought it was a great opportunity for a good learning opportunity. Just come down with it one time. And I notice we have a touch here, and count this wick here. Count that as well, right? Then we got some action here in this area, all that in there. And then on the other side, that's just from this one trend line. Most of the time, I just have a trend line on it. And then what I would do is I would just extend it because I keep my drawings on the chart. Let's go to settings, extend the right line. You see it popped up over here on the side. Let's just remove that. All right, hold on, let me stop share. Let's try that again. That's better.
Looks great. Thank you, sir.
All right. So I guess you guys missed all that with the different points. So I'll just go over it again. All right, so in looking at the chart, I go to auto, just zoom in. The first thing that actually catch my eye is these points here where I can actually visualize a trend line on it. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna draw a trend line. Just go over to the right, come down with it, come down with it. I have it extended right now. I see it touch there, use this wick here, small touch here, this whole area. Use that wick as well. These are a lot of opportunities where we actually could get in the market. Everywhere that I drew a eclipse is someplace where you could look to enter. So if you say, okay, price moving down, we can't see all of this. That's all we see. We won't know to get in unless we know we have two touches. So after we get the second touch here, right? Let me just drop a line on it, on this level. Because I see this resistance here. Look what I see in the past. Resistance. I don't want to go too far in the past, but nonetheless, that would have been a good entry price. Where you see price found resistance in the past, as well as it making the second touch on the trend line, that would have been a good opportunity to enter. And I can just go slow now and move more candles. Price drop. We're looking at this and we say if price go back up to this trend line and find resistance again along the trend line, then that'll be a good time to enter the trade. Notice in this area here, price found support here. It went up. Price found support here. Went up. Count that as support too, because it's not just this particular line. I see that there. Look what we have here now. I do not know how price is going to react in this area, but to me, I would have been looking at this area. Ultimately, I'm looking at the trend line, but because I see this previous support turn to resistance here, it's a possibility that I could enter this trade. All right. I use support and resistance. I still would have entered this trade. Could have gotten into profit a good amount of pips because we're on the 4 hour now. It might look like a small move, but that's a lot of pips. So price approached the trend line again, left this long wick. Me personally, I love to see price come back up to the trend line and close closer to it. But this long wick is telling me a story. I'm just going to place a line on it. I go back in the past, and what do I see? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Resistance, resistance, all this support right here, all that support. So this would be a good time to enter if we miss this first one. Here, perfect place to enter. Stop loss would have gone right above the trend line, short position. Let's say we caught it down here. Stop loss would have been here. Where was the last support found? Here. Let's see how it played out. I already know TP hit. TP eventually hit, and price looked like it finds support again. So as simple as just drawing a trend line. As simple as just drawing a trend line. You could go on any time frame. I think I told you guys before, if you've been following me for a little while, a place where a trend line and a support or resistance level meets, and you see price struggling to break higher, that's a good place to enter. So here, where price was finding resistance in the past, and you see these wicks, it's an excellent place to enter the trade, to ride it down, even if only to the next level where price been finding support or resistance. Price broke above, came back, still finding support here, moved up, left this long wick. I automatically enter in that to ride it up to the next zone. Automatically. So it's just a matter of you following what price is doing. Settings. Move that extend. One touch here. Price found support here. It broke below, went back up to retest the same trend line. Retested it and then dropped. A lot of pips there. Remember the same support level. Price found resistance in the past. You could have entered here after you saw this wick. Could have entered here, catch these pips going down on the way up. Found resistance here again, engulfing candle. I wouldn't be surprised if gold drops some more this week. I wouldn't, because of the strong support over here, turn to resistance here and here. Price will really have to, for me, in order for me to be looking for buys on gold this week, I need to see price move above, come back down, retest, and then I can look for buys. But as it stands right now, I still looking for sells. Don't want to force a trend line. I don't want to force it. The more touches, the stronger the level is. And I would tell you just wait on it. Yes, my training videos, almost all of them on my YouTube channel. I'll drop that link in the chat as well. So for this one here right now, let's drop a fib on it. In between the 50 and the 60, 61. I don't like a lot of junk on my chart. I really don't. This isn't how I draw zones. I just drew that there, right? So to show the difference between the 50 and the 60. I like gold to drop. As far as I'm concerned, this is where price started. It made a move down. This is the pullback. I can place a trend line on it. I can extend it left just to see how price has been reacting along this level. Go up a time frame. Okay, they ain't show me nothing, so I can remove it. Until this trend line or this support level is broken, I'm looking for sells. I'm looking for sells long term. Short term scalp for 10 pips, that's a different story. But for long term trades with high probability, I'm looking for a break and a retest of either this level here, this area here, where price has been showing us that it's finding support to turn into resistance here. That's what I look for. So I think the Academy has some videos on the fib. I know I used the fib just to see how much of a pullback price did. How much of a pullback. I won't go too deep into analyzing the market tonight. I just can go over my weekly outlook and what I expected from the different pairs this week. I won't touch on a lot of the education, but I just saw some opportunities where we could have potentially entered trades on our own without the help of anybody. It's as simple as drawing a trend line. You go to any chart and you could just go and play around with it. Here. Like I said, don't force the trend line. That's where I see my touches. I see my touches there. You nothing have to be exact. Nothing about trading is exact. And always remember that support and resistance is an area and not so much this one particular line. So here, price did find resistance on this area on the trend line. This would be like my zone for a trend line. Resistance, 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 resistance. Price broke above, found support, short-lived, came down, didn't get a retest, so we didn't enter. Price went above, we tested as support now on the other side, and now we could buy it up. No matter which pair, which time frame. You can always find support and resistance on by far the easiest way to make money in the market. By far. You just gotta don't let greed take over you. Don't let greed take over you. Any time frame this works on, guys. 15-minute. This one here might actually be a channel on the 15-minute. Let's just see how it plays out. Not so much. Ain't pretty, but support and resistance. Resistance, support. I much prefer the higher time frames. This here was extended from this move over here where I saw these 3 touches. Price found support here, price went up. Support, price went up a little bit, came back down. These 2 trend lines crossed over. X marks the spot, price went up. Depends on which time frame. And if I trade in trend lines, that means I'm using market structure. How do I don't get consumed with the news. I'm not gonna play blind to it, but I am aware that there is news, but price tends to respect structure. Price respects structure. So here, I would say that this is a news candle here. Price was approaching this area where price has been finding support in the past. Price has been finding support in the past. And like I say, we're on the 4 hour. So take in consideration that that's 30 pips right there. That small move is 30 pips with this wick. And then it dropped down a lot of pips. Just about 200 pips. So price still respects structure. That actually gave me my second touch for the trend line. Let's see how it looks on the 15-minute. I would assume that this is the move here. From the trend line on the big time frame, it allowed me to see that price did close a little bit higher on the 15-minute, But in any event, this the level here where price been finding resistance. And because it's not one spot, that's a wick on the 4-hour, but I see candles on the 15. So I'm not scared because like I say, I like the 4-hour time frame. That's my time frame. I like this. This looks a whole lot better than this. So I don't let news scare me. If I see a setup, I can take it. And if news doesn't go in my direction, then no harm, no foul. I go with my trading plan, what I've back tested. News was not a factor when I was back testing. Market structure was. So I stick to my trading plan. Like I say, I am mindful of it, especially when I call in trades for people. I'm mindful of that fact that that's their money too. Even though at the end of the day, once you press buy or sell, you take full responsibility for that trade. People still don't listen. No way. So I still want to be a little careful when I call in trades for people. So I don't trade. I mean, news isn't a big factor for me as it relates to market structure rules in my eyes. So I could promise you, if you go on the 4-hour and you see where price has been finding support and you see where price find resistance, you could always work your way down to the 15-minute and possibly enter that trade from the 15-minute if you have some kind of confirmation. So someone give me a pair. Let's just spit out a pair. Let's take a look at one. Any pair. Okay, I can go with US 30. US 30 on the 4-hour. We could clearly see that price found resistance here along this level. Come down, price find support here. We could work our way down the time frames. What I see is a double bottom that I like. Start of an uptrend. That's how I look at my double bottoms. That would have been a good time for me to buy. I see it on the hour. Let's go down to 15. See what price doing. Trend line still applies. I still like it. We could take it a little bit further. Go down to the 5-minute, if it'll even show up. I still like it. Show me the price is going in my direction. I won't be entering a buy. Second touch, I good to go. If I enter in here, I could now place my stop loss. Let's say I enter up here. I could now move my stop loss. I probably leave my stop loss right here. And I ride it all the way up to my next level, which is here. And let's go back to the bigger time frame. See how it played out. TP hit. And then you have a tight stop loss. You have a tight stop loss when you go down the time frame, opposed to just using the 4-hour. Once you understand how price moves, it's a different ball game for you as a trader, and that's why I encourage everyone to go through the academy. I could call trades for y'all all day. The people who know more, they make more. The more you know, the more you make. That's a proven fact. The more you know, the more you make. So I would encourage everyone to go back through the academy just to focus on the basics. Now you don't even have to go advanced. Like the basics, once you have the basics down pat, whatever stands out to you is how you're gonna trade. Don't try to mimic someone if it's not working for you. Like just find what works for you and go into the academy and actually apply what you learn. So as you go through the basics, you wanna, after you watch a video, come back to the chart to actually, if you just learn how to draw a trend line, then go ahead and come to the chart and just start drawing trend lines. Just start drawing them, and you will see how price moving. You will begin to see that support and resistance, and I'm not pushing y'all to support and resistance. That's just what stands out to me. Support and resistance on every time frame, and that's why I like it. And let's take a look at GJ. Last week, everyone got, I guess, was a little concerned about GJ going all the way up here. Why we even in, if you trade how I trade, you wouldn't have been worried at all because you kind of know how the market moving. Price above my zone, I either looking for price to give me some kind of retest down here, or because price is finding support here, let's put a line on it. Let's go back in the past. Let me remove this one. Let's go back in the past to see if we have support or resistance along this level. And what we have, support. Let's go back some more. What do we have? Support, resistance along this level. So resistance, support, resistance. Go back some more. Support, support, resistance. So it ain't no surprise when price makes these moves. Ain't no surprise. Ain't no surprise at all. You see the level. You see the level. Price finding support. Price finding support. That's the floor, right? Price finding support. Chances are it won't go down. It'll probably play in this area for a little bit, but price hasn't been breaking this level here. So you see price come back down again. Let's say you got in here. Your stop loss below all these wicks here, right? Below all them wicks, give yourself a little bit of room. And that is a big stop loss. Don't get me wrong, that is a big stop loss. But your risk to reward, your risk is small compared to your reward. And you could have caught that move if you was actually. I missed the move. I wasn't watching the charts. I don't know what time it happened. I don't know. I just know when I look at it, see everyone making noise about it, and I'm like, yeah, that's normal. Like, I expect my zone from price to go from one zone to the next zone. That's what I expect. I expect that from one zone to the next, and then price play around. It finally made a move. Look at this. I think we drew this consolidation box a while back on one of my trainings, I guess. I don't, because that's the only way to explain why it here. Resistance, support, support, support. Price broke above. I actually would have been in this trade from here if I was watching. I'd have been entering from here. And that would have been a swing trade for me, of course, because that took a while to actually happen. 661 pips. With a stop loss, 80 pips. Risk to reward. Excellent risk to reward. So it's just a matter of being patient and actually drawing up on your chart. I think someone said GU. So this move I absolutely would have missed because I didn't get a break in a retest. I was leaving it just like that, and I cool with missing that opportunity. As it stands right now, I need price to get outside of my zone, come back down and retest it. I also want to see price get higher than this last high. So for me to take this trade all the way up, I probably would need price to break this level, and then retest it, and then I can look for a buy. Because let's say price does go up and come back down here, and I say, okay, I want to rush it. I don't want to wait. What do we have here? We have a downtrend now, where price could potentially just drop a whole lot. So it boils down to you having patience in the market and just waiting for the setup to happen. And that's why I trade all these pairs here. I don't discriminate. If you're just getting started, I can understand 1 or 2 pairs, that's fine. But I would actually wait for this setup to happen, because I know I have all these other pairs in my arsenal that I could wait on a trade from, and I could get back to this next week. I don't have to worry about this trade. I don't have to worry about this one pair. And I'm not trying to tell you take on more pairs than normal, but if you're just starting out, 1 or 2 pairs, that's all you need. 1 or 2 pairs for now. As you get deeper into it and you understand more, then you could add more pairs. Price act, market structure doesn't change. Market structure doesn't change. It doesn't change. You want to get a trend line, any pair. It doesn't change. It just depends on what you want of the market. Patience is the number one thing you have to have. So I'm a very conservative trader, and that's why this first break and retest wouldn't be suffice for me. For me, I would not like it, because I need this high to be broken. I want to see this last high get broken to show me the price going up. Like I say, you could go ahead and you could possibly enter that trade there with a double bottom. That's fine. That's fine. But when the trade go against you, if it does, then don't feel bad, because you know the possibility of price finding resistance here. It's showing you this trend line down, this downward trend. It's showing you it, but you still entered for a buy here. If you want to get a couple pips out of it, that's fine. When I swing trading, I looking for the big move. I looking for to go from zone to zone. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to catch this 80 pips here, which would be nice, don't get me wrong. But I'd rather be certain. Or a higher probability that it's gonna happen if I get price go higher than this last high. For me, it's just a possible setup. Like I say, and that's why I wait on the candles to actually print to tell me what's going on. I don't want to be guessing. It ain't happening yet. I don't want to be predicting. Don't try to predict. I just react to it. I just react to it. You fine with taking setups, just know why you're taking a setup. It's cool. ECAD. ECAD from last week, I still was kind of waiting on it to break out and retest. It didn't do either. It just played around in my zone. It made an attempt out. We didn't get a retest. The price ended back up in the zone, where price found resistance to the bottom of the zone again. So I still need price to break out. I still need price to break out and retest, or I still waiting on that with ECAD. Again, paying attention to these levels here. Got 3 touches so far. A 4th one possibly could happen again. I just don't get caught up over analyzing. Just let's make a note of this. The price is trending downwards in a sense. It isn't making higher highs. It's getting lower and lower. So just be careful with this one. I would wait. I would wait for that confirmation. I would wait for it first. I would wait. Price to break and retest this trend line or this zone or this trend line, either one. So now I just can browse through, and if I see a nice something that looks good, if it's in my zone, I'm not just going to bypass it. I won't even discuss it, because if anything is in my zone like this UJ is, you all already know what I'm looking for. Same thing with ECAD, waiting on price to get out, retest, right to the next zone, or break to the downside, retest, boom. So if it's in my zone, I'm just gonna bypass it. If it's in the middle of my zone, I'm gonna bypass it because I'm not gonna take trades from the middle of my zone. I want to get from zone to zone. Anything in the middle, I just go straight past it. All right. So I actually like this. I actually like this to drop this week. I see price been consolidating in this box. Resistance, support, resistance. Price broke out, didn't give us this retest here, came back up, went back to the zone, and then it broke out. We got this long wick here. We got this long wick in this consolidation box. This is the last kiss to me, even though they said close outside. We didn't ever get that retest. But this support turned to resistance right here with this long wick. So I'm looking for this to drop this week. It's still around this trend line here. I would love to see where this candle closes next hour and a half. If it closes below, I'll be looking to sell this. All the way down to the zone. $25 pip stop loss. For 260 pip reward. That's provided the price close below. I don't want to set a sell stop because the market just opened. I want to catch itself first, but I want to see where this candle actually closes at 9 o'clock. So EA. EN in my zone. GJ. My confirmation would be price comes back up and close below this first high. Then I'm looking for it to drop all the way back down to the zone here. But that'll be provided that price actually, and it may not happen in a week. It may take longer than a week. That's a swing trade for sure. But it's depending on where this candle actually closed when it come up here in this area. If it closed higher, We ain't fooling with it. But that's my outlook on it until more candles are printed. Looking at GN, I'm expecting GN to go back up to this zone here, up to this level. When it gets in this area, I want to see how price react here first before we do anything. This, I don't trade flags. I know someone probably said that this was a flag. I don't trade flags. I see, this is what I see. I see this resistance level turn to support, so I expect it to go back up. If it breaks this high, close higher, then I wait on a retest to enter up for the buy. I'm not going to enter now because of these levels here, where price could potentially find resistance and then continue dropping. If it's not in my trading plan, I don't trade it. EJ looks good. Resistance over here. So this zone, you can see their price find support, resistance, resistance, support, previous resistance, turn to support here, break, retest. Okay, so this looks kind of messy right now. Previous resistance, turn to support here. I don't like this strong candle come down to the zone. I don't like that. But you could clearly see that this previous resistance turn to support. First glance, looking for it to go all the way back up to the next zone. 30 pip stop loss. These aren't trade ideas, it's just what my expectation is based on where price is when I look at it on Sunday. These are not trade ideas, but if you feel comfortable, if you see what I see or you see what you need to see, by all means take the trade. By all means. UCAD, I got a break and a retest. I'm looking for this to drop. The only thing is I just don't have any confirmation as to why I would sell, so I'm not going to sell. But once I get more confirmation, I'll be looking to sell, provided I get that confirmation. If not, then don't worry about it. In the zone, US 30, possible break and retest. And it ain't so much the line, because we already know we look at support and resistance as an area. Resistance, turn to support here, price could potentially go up. This one I need to wait on this one because US 30 doesn't have a previous high. This is the highest that US 30 has ever been right here. So I would wait for price to get higher and give me a retest before I look to buy again. Let's go up to month. US 30 has no higher high. So if that giving us support, if that give us support there, we can look to ride it up. On the month chart, I don't look at the month chart to analyze. It was actually hurting my eyes seeing all this on the chart for the month. But this here would be ideal for me to buy again. In a perfect world with all this resistance right here, price find support here would be lovely on the month time frame to ride it up. But I trading on the 4 hour. Trading on the 4 hour, I want to see confirmation here before I buy. Prices below this zone here. I can look for it to drop back down. I'm looking for it to drop. Looking for it to drop this week. Oil, get a retest down here. We can look to buy again. And gold setting up for another drop based on what I see here right now. Once that AJ, AN gonna go up. I don't have a doubt about that. AN can go up. 74 pips. And I say that without a doubt because off my zone, I see this. This cannot close above this level. The next hour and a half, that going up. Same thing here. This candle close above, it's gonna go up. Close above, it's gonna go up. Did I do AJ yet? I don't even have AJ charted. Let's drop a line on this to see why price stopped here. I see a lot of resistance here. I'll just watch this whole area here to see. Price still never came back higher than this point here. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the move. It's just a deep pullback. That could very well come back down, at least to the trend line. But I personally just wait for more candles to print before making a move. All right. So that's all for now. Alerts are on.